use that as a projection to say, now, has the student really understood the outcome, the concepts in those units that we have learned? Now, is it justifiable to say, have they passed or have they failed? Without considering numerical grades, numerical marks, looking at just the picture, do you think it's a true reflection of what individual students have learned? And over the course of time, I have realized it's changing the mindset. It's changing the mindset of these teachers, including myself, because it started with me. Without me having nurtured this idea, there was no way I was going to be able to sell it to other teachers. And they are appreciating it. And so after this collection, after this episode, my aim is that I will start with my school, go on like a project, like a workshop, where every teacher will have a PLCs monthly to sit and people present their data scores and look at it and say, at this point, this is what we see based on this student or that student, whether they are passing, and we need to put some mechanisms in order to bring them up academically. So this is something that is ongoing. And I hope that after this chapter, I'm going to increase the momentum with my teachers.
Thank you, Eric. That is really inspirational, and you're doing a wonderful thing for your teachers as well as your students, which is they'll feel the ultimate effects.
Thank you very much, Leonard, Dr. Whitman.
Thank you, Dr. Vargas.
Thank you, Dr. Whitman. Okay, Eric, let me ask some questions that I always ask.
Yes, please.
If you could do anything different with this research study, what would you do?
So they say, if you have so many things to do at once, take them in bits, but you have to do all of them. I wanted to graduate. I wanted to complete this episode, this chapter of my dissertation. Then in my next chapter, what I will do with the same topic, we'll look at it either from still a qualitative point of view or from a quantitative point of view. First, from the qualitative point of view. Here, I brought in only teachers because I want to see how they get motivated themselves and get empowered to do the things that they've been championed to do as managers of their classrooms at the school level. That said, in future, if I should do the same thing again qualitatively, my aim is to now go to the students, those that will become the end product. Go to the students and interview them. This will mean I cannot just go to them and interview them. I will need parental consent through IRB, and I also need my school board consent. So in future, if I will take it qualitatively, this is how I will go about it, by interviewing students. That will be a longitudinal type of research because it must be spanned over time. If I have to do it quantitatively, where the numbers will have to come in, I will need big data. So this is where I will fall on the Department of Education of the province in which I live, and also on the archival data from a number of years, let's say 4 or 5 years, from the school division in which I teach. So I can do comparative studies, whereby I will use tools like the ANOVA and the t-test to find the probability of a cause and effect. That if there is a cause of something, then there can be a result, an effect, based on that cause. So here I will use variables. Thank you.
Very good. Next question. Were there any surprises in the results in the data? Did you expect all the data to come out exactly the way it did?
Thank you, Honorable Leonard, Dr. Haggis. Not really. Initially, I was thinking I was going to go straight and that everything was going to be rosy. But then I realized at the end of the day, some of the raw data I collected, and as I was going through the interview questions, it made me to go deeper. It wasn't only really for a particular question that I asked, but out of a particular question, I was going deeper and deeper because I got so engaged, because some of the revelations were bringing me to a direction that I never even thought of. And some of them included the conversational aspect, particularly the conversational aspect of assessment. Because some of the students we teach, not all of them are good on paper and pencil. But when you engage them, you don't let it look informal, like a conversation. And what you collect from these students makes you sit, realizing that they know a lot than we think of. So those were the surprises. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Okay, the last question I have is, I know you're going to share all this wonderful data and everything with your school and the districts and so forth, but how are you academically going to share this information? Are you planning on publishing in journals? Are you planning on presenting maybe at different types of conferences? How are you going to get the data out besides just to your school district and so forth, but to also other academics?
Thank you very much. So they say every journey starts with one step, and then you move to the next. This is my first. Now that I'm done, my first episode will be meeting with my superintendent and giving a PLC for a selected area school teachers about how to look at assessment and how to evaluate students, particularly when we have enormous data in our collection bank and we don't know what to do with it. Secondly, I will want, as a scholar, joining the field of academia and joining the big educational community to publish. I would love to publish because I've been waiting for this for a long time. I would love to publish, and some of the sources that I'll publish in will include the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, ASCD, the Journal of Educational Leadership, the ResearchGate. I want to publish by putting my articles there. Locally, I will want to put them in publishing. Through publishing outlets such as the Dolphin Herald, whereby parents, teachers, and other educators will read some of the mindset that I have when it comes to assessment and evaluation of high school students in particular, particularly when we have students that have high needs. Thank you.
All righty. That was to the point. Well thought through. I'm glad we had that question in the course about what questions could possibly come up in your defense.
Yes, and during that time, I was all over the place, but after a day or two, I decided to bring my mind to a focus.
Thank you for that. I think the entire committee thanks you for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. At this point in time, we have two options. We can ask Eric to leave where we can discuss and take a vote. Otherwise, if we feel confident with the professionalism in the study and so forth, we can take an instant vote. Dr. Whitman, how would you like to proceed?
I would say an instant vote would be fine with me.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Number 1 is pass. Number 2 is pass with revisions. Or number 3, we don't even consider, fail.
1.
Real good. Dr. Smith?
Yeah, just take out the name of that minor thing. That's past no revision though, because it's not really a revision. That's great work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good, thank you. I also say pass, because I've lived with the study now for how long? I could wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and know it's on page 174.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, you really did an excellent presentation in your final defense.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Before we adjourn, do you have any questions for the committee? Comments?
Yes, I do. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all, learned, honorable opponents, Dr. Whitman, Dr. Smith, and my chair, Dr. Haggis, for the enormous strength you have poured into me. A journey that had lasted 3.5 years. I started from nowhere because I had no money to go into the doctoral program. But when I started with Dr. Whitman, my first course, Lucille and Ashwell, 2016, that literature, I have lived with it, I'm still living with it, and I hope to live with it into the future. So I say thank you. Words cannot express how grateful I am. If there will be a tomorrow, I stand here and say my prayer is that God keep you strong and prosperous in good health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Eric.
you for,
Very good. On that note, Dr. Appiah-Odame, Eric, how's the sound?
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
Nor are we. Thank you. Alrighty, everyone. Thanks to the committee. I always enjoy working with both of you. And Eric, you're going to be getting a lot of different types of forms to fill out. So just fill out everything, and we'll submit everything and go from there. Okay?
Yes, please.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone. Have a great
Bye.
weekend.